World Cashew Convention. I am Shruti from CashewInfo.com. With me, Mfaume Juma, Director General, Cashew Nut Board of Tanzania. Welcome, sir. Welcome to World Cashew Convention.
Thank you very much.
The East Africa cashew plantation are prone to insect infestation and disease. How does it affect the productivity in these regions? How do you suggest to overcome this?
Thank you very much. And in fact, the East African cashew, of course, we are battling with the insects and infestation and the diseases. This is one of the disadvantages we have vis-a-vis other areas in Africa or in India, because in other areas they don't have diseases and they're destructive insects. Of course, this reduces productivity to a large extent. But we've been taking different measures, very strong measures to control these kind of infestations of disease and insects. We've been utilizing a lot of pesticides, but those which are allowable pesticides.
Okay.
We have not been into any condemned kind of insecticides or pesticides. And we are happy that through the utilization of the pesticides, mainly sulfur dust. We have been we've had improvements in the productivity of the cashew nuts in the country, especially in Tanzania, very greatly, because we have seen now the growth. The sector is growing, and the production is growing. Taking the example of last 3 years, in season 2012-2013, we had a record of about 127,000 metric tons countrywide. But the other season, 13-14, we had 130,000 metric tons. But amazingly, in 2014-2015, the season we are closing now, we have had record productivity of 200,000 metric tons, which is one of the reasons for this success will be the utilization of the pesticides and insect in the combating of the diseases and insects, and we are looking at it wider in the near future to have very successful kind of control within that. But again, the research is going on. We have very strong research center in Tanzania, Naliendele Research Institute and Agricultural Research Institute. We are still going on with research on how we can utilize botanicals in the control of diseases and pests, because in the long run we know these pesticides will be very detrimental, might be harmful to the trees themselves or to the land, to the soil, whatever. So we are now researching on how we can utilize botanicals to combat diseases and pests in the cashew nut plantations.
How much quantity of raw cashew nuts processed within the country?
We are unlucky that we used to have many processing factories in the last 20 years, but most of them closed down due to infestation of the diseases and pests. At one time in the 80s, productivity of cashews went down to as much as 16,000 metric tons countrywide.
Okay.
So most of the processing factories could not get raw materials to process, and they were closed down. With that scenario, the government decided to sell out those factories to private companies. In the revamping of the productivity, we find that we have many raw materials, very few working processing factories. So we are now taking very deliberate measures now. On our part, as Cashew Nut Board of Tanzania, in collaboration with the Cashew Nut Industry Development Trust Fund, which is a fund owned by the stakeholders of the cashew nut, we are establishing 3 processing plants within the country as from this year. And this is just medium to large scale plants. But again, we're going to support the small processing groups in the villages at farm level, at village level, to expand the productivity and the processing of the cashews in the country. Currently, what we export is not even, it doesn't get even to 20%, it might be less than 20%.
Aggregating the produce and standardizing the quality using warehouse receipt is a very good, laudable initiative of Cashew Nut Board of Tanzania. What has been the impact of this initiative? What next is the value addition?
Well, the warehouse system is a wonderful kind of system. In our country, it has worked very well. Since we started, we have seen a lot of changes at farm level. Previously, buyers used to go straight to the farmers, collecting small amounts of cashews. But there were a lot of risks in between, because there were a lot of burglaries and theft. But again, there were a lot of cheating between the buyers and sellers. There were no quality assurances between the buyer and seller. But with warehouse system, we now see that there is value addition from farmer level. That farmers, before they deliver the cashews to the warehouse, they dry the nuts on the sun. In our practice in the country, the cashews are not harvested from the tree.
Okay.
Farmers only pick the nuts which have dropped down the trees, dry them under the sun for 3 or 4 days, sort them out into grades, and then pack into duty bags. So collection from the ground, drying, grading, packaging, all these value-added services are done at farmer level. And all this to assure that the cashews brought to the warehouse for the auctioning are in good quality as required by the market. So we are very happy that most of the buyers are very happy with the quality they are getting from our system. But again, all these other risks which were part of the selling, buying system in the cashews have been very much rectified now. So we are very happy, and we see this to be as one of the initial steps towards the real commodity exchange system. We are now moving towards the real commodity exchange system, because we have now very good background for the system, and the warehouse system has worked wonderfully, and we hope to go to that stage very easily. But again, as an initial stage, the aim of a warehouse system is to provide an immediate market for the farmer. But the longer objective of the sector is to make sure that the warehouse is utilized to provide raw materials to the factories. So farmers will be collecting those crops in the warehouses, ready for processing in different other factories within the country. That's the future that we're looking for. Yeah, to see that we're not really boasting ourselves with the warehouse system, because warehouse system is only selling the raw nuts, not the value-added nuts.
Yeah.
So our intention is to add value to our own cashews before we sell in the local and the foreign markets.
Yeah.
So warehouse system will just be an item, it's a way to facilitate collection, grading, and other value-added services before we send to the factories within the country.
Talk about the auctions. How was the auctions in the last year?
Yeah, the auction were very good. In fact, we are doing this kind of closed bid system, not an open auction.
Okay.
As we are doing now, it's a closed bid system, and it has worked wonderfully. The only challenge that we are getting is that there are such kind of buyers who will take the licenses from us, participate in the auctions, but again buying from the farmers unofficially, and side buying. Those side buyers normally they spoil the quality of the nuts when they reach the processors in the foreign markets. What they do, they buy from the farmers unofficially at lower prices, and they participate in the auctions and buy at the official rate. They mix the nuts bought from outside and bought from the warehouses, and deliver at the same prices. In fact, they maximize the profit, because they are buying at cheap and sell at premium prices to the processors. But in so doing, they are really doing a very, very bad thing for the quality of our nuts. So as for the practice in the warehouse system itself, we are slowly perfecting the system, and our future of the auctions, we want to make sure that who participate in the auctions are real processors, not middlemen. So we are now trying to reach out to the processors for them to participate in the warehouse. That's why we are moving into commodity exchange. But again, a more digital kind, more electronic kind of auction, to make sure that the processors would participate, even from India, from Vietnam, in other part of the world, instead of them sending some representatives on the ground just to participate in the auction. Yes.
How was price realized in the auctions, and what are the operational difficulties you face?
The price realization in the auctions, with competition, always we are getting better prices. For example, this season where we got the prices went up to 2,200 shillings per kilo of raw nuts. This is Tanzanian shillings, which is the best price for the farmers. And knowing that we supply very best qualities to the warehouses. I mentioned about grading at the farm level. drying, sorting, and packing at farm level. So other countries are not doing this. They are just selling the wet nut, the wet nuts to the buyers. So drying is done by the buyer, sorting and whatever is done at buyer level. In our country, we are doing all this at farmer level. So we see that what farmers get in our country is really measurable or commensurate to the efforts that they are putting in the crop. That's why the buyers are ready to sacrifice another cent to the Tanzanian cashews than other suppliers within the same continent.
What's your feedback on this World Cashew Convention? How you're feeling? How it is organized?
Well, this is one of the best attempts that made by the Fortel Business Solution, I might say, because we have, even now, we have several conventions, small conventions at country level, not even at regional level. You hear about Vinacas, Cashew Rendezvous in Vietnam. We have International Cashew Conference in India. We have International Cashews in Ivory Coast. Everybody is organizing his own just to promote the sector at country level, or to expose what is going on in the sector within the country. But this is the first of its own kind of event that combines all these countries together. So it's a very good forum that we are meeting, we're exchanging experiences, but again we discover what is missing on our part, but what's opportunities from others. So it is best forum. It's the first time it's being taken. I think it will be perfected and it will be very good kind of interaction in the near future.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for spending time.
Okay, thank you.
You.